$5 I turn this thing on, it's got like 12 ads inside of it. Putting annoying Reddit cynicism aside, I grew up with an iPad when I was a kid, so I'm honestly kind of excited to see how well this thing is. Dude, the tablet's like 7 inches big. Do you really need all this? Here's another one. This has to be the tablet. Oh, wow, okay. It's just raw. As for my first impressions for this thing, it's actually surprisingly thick and hefty. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing though, because for a tablet this compact, having it feel like this in your hand, it's really solid actually. I'm surprised by the build quality. And that's the weirdest thing. Instead of a power button on the top, you just got 2 speaker grills. The power button, it's actually at the bottom of the device. So let's switch this thing on and take a look at how good or bad the OS is going to be. Thank you for purchasing Kindle Fire. In order to download books, movies, videos, and surf the web, you gotta connect to the internet? Are those services even still working for this thing? I don't want to glaze this thing too early, but compared to most of the Android tablets I've looked at, this thing is actually still pretty snappy. After that, we're forced to register your Kindle. You have to register an Amazon account to use this thing? It's kind of a strange management decision, especially because the only people using this tablet are going to be like infants. In my opinion, when it comes to ruining a child by giving them unrestricted internet access, there's better options like a refurbished iPad for cheap. And now when trying to just make a simple burner account to log into this tablet, I have to add a mobile number. Way to Microsoft, Max. Oh, and this is just the cherry on top of a bad user experience. Now that I made the Amazon account and wasted like 15 minutes on it, your Kindle cannot connect to the internet. You want to register later? Where was that option the entire time? Alright, I'm done bitching about the account setup, let's use the tablet. Judging by the home screen, it seems like they were actually pushing books pretty hard initially and had the apps as like a secondary afterthought. They even went as far as to completely hide them when you're using the thing in landscape mode. I guess the main thing to initially check out here would be the Amazon app itself. Does this still work? No? Well, who could have seen that coming? Wait, how do we go home? Wait, okay. It's not like Android. Oh, I see. This is your recents drawer. It's not just for books. It shows the apps too. I guess the next thing to check out on here would be Facebook. Wait a second. Facebook opens in a web browser. This is an Android tablet. How do you not make that work? It doesn't really matter either way because the Facebook homepage can't load on this thing. I am starting to like the design of early Fire OS though. You got a back button, you got a menu button, a bookmark button. It seems like they're taking full advantage of the screen real estate you got on here. They even have a full screen button if you want to get extra room. I know nobody reads anymore, but will the bookstore work? I tried to register my Kindle by logging with my burner Amazon account I just made, but I'm just getting a generic error here, so I don't think we can access the store on this thing. This exact same thing is going to happen to Windows 11 in like 15 years, and you can't even log into the operating system at that point. At the very least, do we have cool apps preloaded on here we can play with? Pretty much everything needs online access, except a quick office. Yeah, is this like an office suite? Another registration screen. At least here you can just skip it immediately. Alright, so we got 3 options. Not Word, not Excel, and not PowerPoint. Whenever I actually try to use this Office suite, it kicks me to a file picker, and you'd think I can just create a new file inside here, but there's no option to. I don't think it's too big of a loss though, because can you imagine presenting with this thing? Alright staff, listen up. As indicated by the Kindle Fire here, we're bankrupt. Alright, I'm kinda getting bored with the stock experience on this thing, so let's crack it open and install some third-party apps, but wait, how do I access settings? Is it more? Wait, that's settings? It's not even labeled settings? Old Fire OS is so complicated. I want to hate it, but the design is actually really good. Because this is Android under the hood, if we head to the device section, we can unlock slide loading. That's cool and all, but how are we going to load the apps on the thing in the first place? We don't have access to ADB. Step 1, enable developer options. If you have a Kindle Fire first generation, ADB is enabled by default? That's not secure. I mean, the entire tablet isn't secure now, but you get my point, right? They wanted to log in with Amazon accounts where you like store your credit cards and stuff, and you can just plug it into a computer and extract info from it. Alright, so we got the tablet connected, and it should work with ADB, right? Yep, found it immediately. When I was checking in the settings of the Fire tablet, it told me it was running Fire OS 6, but that's not really helpful because I need the actual Android version to find apps that work for that version, so let's use ADB to figure that out. 2.3.4? This is running Gingerbread? Whoa, dude, that's bad. I mean, I was expecting like Android 3, but 2.3? Nothing's gonna work on this, except maybe like Opera Mini. Hey, at least it's not all bad. We do have 6 gigs of internal storage on here, which, it's not a lot, but for Android 2.3, I think it'll be plenty. When it comes to installing apps on older devices like that, you want to do APK mirror and then type in the name like Opera Mini. And then at the very end of the search, you want to punch in Android 2.3. And there you go, you got a hit. The newest web browser for this thing was last updated in 2016. Wow, 10 years ago. Has it really been 10 years? Aside from the normal older apps, there are actually community projects for these old versions of Android like DroidCord, which, can you guess what it lets you do? It reads a Discord client for old Android devices that are less than 4.0. If this ends up working, honestly, it might be pretty comfortable to chat on that thing. So I'm going to finish installing all the apps I want to take a look at on this thing, like diagnostic tools, games, and I'll just cut back to when I'm ready to use them. And 1 hour later, we have a bunch of apps to test out. So first off, let's check out Opera Mini. Oh, that's kind of annoying. In the native system browser, we can make it go full screen and hide this bar at the bottom, but inside this third-party app, that's just not the case. Let's see if we can access the Amazon website on this thing. And to my surprise, even though it doesn't work on the device itself, using this third-party app, you can browse Amazon.com. I wonder if YouTube will work on this. Oh, okay. So despite some websites blocking you, honestly, web browsing on this thing isn't too bad. The device doesn't really feel that slow at all. That reminds me, actually, what specs are we running on this thing? It's a dual-core chip and an early mobile device, which probably explains the speed this thing has. And we're also working with around half a gig of RAM, which is insane for Android 2.3. Now that we know what we're working with on this tablet, why don't we try to push it with Facebook? Yeah, actually, a newer version of Facebook. That's a great logo you've got there. After waiting a minute, we haven't gotten anywhere past this screen, so let's just try it out in the web browser instead. And unfortunately, same exact issue as YouTube. I think we'll have better luck with this more modern social media client, though. The way you log in is a bit strange, though. You gotta paste your Discord token right here. And once we try to log in, hey, it actually works. Now the UI is very basic, but are you going to access Discord any other way on this thing? Come on. But looks aside, this client is pretty much fully functional. You got profile pictures, names, messages, and even attachments working. Hello from Android 2. It's not showing up on here, but I think it's sent. And checking on my other phone, yeah, it actually did go through with a hilarious typo. And I wanted to make sure this client didn't break on me, so I went back to the home page and went back into general, and it seems like it refreshed the chat, which that could be a bit annoying, but hey, at least it works. I'm just glad Discord isn't easy to install on any Fire tablet. I mean, could you imagine the outcome of that, dude? Roblox would be given a run for their money. You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's check out emulating a Nintendo 64 on this device, and you know, given the specs this thing has, it might be its superpower. This video is so taken down. Oh, what? Okay, yeah, I think we're running into some emulation errors over here. Oh, Mario's fine though. Alright, so aside from the hilarious emulation bugs, the performance of the game it's not completely stable, but it's good enough. This is starting to get a bit annoying, you know, let me just reload the app and see if that fixes it. Oh, and instead of standard Android 2.3 where you can hit the menu button to bring up the task switcher, you gotta go all the way into settings and hit applications to close the apps. Yeah, I can't lie, that's pretty annoying. And yeah, no, reloading it didn't fix anything, but hey, at least the performance is decent. After that, we got our last social media app, Twitter. And the app does load up, but whenever we try to log in, we just get an error occurred when logging in, so yeah, this just won't work. The website might though. X.com. It's literally just an X.com. Where's the login field? Damn, we're 3 for 3 when trying to use these social medias on the website. I guess this thing is just too old, unfortunately. The last thing we're gonna do on this tablet is try to play PSP games, and because of the specs this thing has, I'm actually kinda confident. Okay, that's a good sign. The game's booting. Yeah, the audio kinda sounds bad because the loading screen is lagging, but wait. Yeah, we can't actually turn their volume down on this thing, there's no hardware buttons to do it. You can pop open the bottom and swipe down to do it though, so at least there's that. The game we're trying out is Ridge Racer PSP, and similar to N64, we are having a bit of an emulation error, but hey, it's not as annoying as those black trees. And unfortunately, it's not that much better for the frame rate in this either. It usually lingers around 30, but in intensive spots it'll drop down to like 27. So that's the first gen Amazon Kindle Fire in 2026, and when it comes to early Android tablets like pre-Android 4.0, I'm really impressed with this. When I started this video, I expected to just rip into this tablet the entire time, but I just can't hate it. The UI is really nice. And this came out at a time when Android was at its laggiest, so it's really impressive that they were able to pull this off. Now, it does kind of suck that it relies so heavily on Amazon services, but if you just ignore it and use the basic Android functions this tablet has, it's not half bad. If you're wondering if this thing is usable today, I gotta say no, because pretty much every website you try to access on this thing, it has like a block up against it for some reason. Regardless though, it's still pretty cool to have just to take a look at old Fire OS. Skeuomorphism can't be beat. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments, what devices do you want me to take a look at next? Alright, I'll see you later.